Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to my Minecraft Let's Play. Last time we made a start with Thaumcraft, and in this episode and the previous one I rode around in my jetpack marking a lot of nodes so I can fill up my wand with energy. And I did a lot of research, as you can see. I nearly did all of it, or all of it. I even got as far as getting some eldritch knowledge, which is something I might have to explain still. Because if you do research, you see that certain nodes have this strange cloud-like stuff around it. That means it's forbidden knowledge and you're actually not supposed to know it or something, or it fucks you up in your mind. Most of it is mostly harmless, so it barely has an effect, but some things like, advanced golems is taboo knowledge, so that gives you quite a lot of warp, as it's called. If you gain enough warp, you get minor episodes. I should occasionally get one, and maybe not happen during this episode, but I had one that gave me an Eldritch Epiphany. So you get the first of the Eldritch researches, which is kind of like the end tier for Thaumcraft items. So it's actually nice to have that already. I did a lot of research. Also, I updated the pack so I can access the Technomancy tab without it crashing on me. Another result of this, update is, Magical Crops got an entirely new version, so I lost all of that stuff. So I have to remake that sometime. But I'm first going to figure out how it actually works, because the only thing that I know on the moment is that mobs occasionally drop this Mincio stuff, and that's used in it, but I'm going to figure that out first before I'm going to make something of an episode about that. And I built this massive tower thingy that's nowhere near complete yet for all my Thaumcraft stuff, and I moved all my research in here. Also, I built these travel anchors from Ender.io so I can easily hop between, what I degenerative call my basement, my Thaumcraft altar, over my Thaumcraft place and my blood altar, without having to use the elevators, which is quite nice. But in this episode I want to get further into Thaumcraft, and for that we need a couple of things. One, this wand is really sucky. It's just a piece of iron with some gold, iron with some wood in between. So we want to make the next tier of wands, which is in the Thaumaturgy tab. And I think that will be the Great Wood Wand core, which requires great wood in a crafting table, and some golden wand caps, which should be quite easy to get my hands on. And if I go to the basement, I should at least have some gold. And that should be enough, because I only need 10. Leave those gold nuggets in here. But between this episode and the previous one, I noticed one thing. My pack doesn't contain X-Nilo or anything of mods of those kinds. So I wouldn't be able to obtain myself any silver wood or great wood, because they no longer spawn in, the saplings no longer spawn in dungeon chests apparently. So I cheated myself a silver wood tree and a massive great wood tree. So I'm going to take a little bit of great wood logs from this. There's probably some stupid way to get your hands on it, or using Mistcraft or something to spawn new biomes, but I really don't want to start with Mistcraft yet. But the Great Wood Wand core was quite easy. Requires a little bit of potato. 2 wand caps are also quite easy. And when we put them together, we notice that they also take a little bit of energy. But that gets us the gold banded Greatwood cap wand, which has a capacity of 50. No longer has that nasty malus or fish usage. In fact, the moment we charge it, we see that it only uses 100%. Only uses. Another advantage of this wand, the moment I can find the hour node. There it is. It can no longer completely drain a node. It always leaves one unless you shift click it. So I can just go around happily draining all these nodes of their energy. So find out where they are. So now I'm going to build something that's going to make it a little bit easier. Oh, I didn't scan this one yet. Or mark it. That's air, water, earth. I really suggest just marking all the nodes you can find. It's always useful. I probably drained that node. Get a bit more out of it. Yeah, just these one of every aspect in it. As you can see, we only need some more fire and Predito mostly. Yeah, considering that this is a massive ocean, I find a lot of water nodes, but fire nodes are a little bit of a nuisance. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And that node also contains some Predito over there, and some more fire. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to make it myself a little bit easier to find or see these nodes with a thaumaturgist goggles. Which I should have enough for it to create now. And it's also a really useful Towncraft item because it allows you to see a certain number of magical things. That is found under the artifice button. The goggles of revealing requires 2 tau meters, some gold and some leather, and 5 of each aspect except Predito and Ordo. Important thing is you always want to keep at least 1 extra tau meter just like that, because you cannot scan items with the goggles of revealing. So we want the gold. Still have some leather somewhere around here. That's actually going to be quite a problem now. Now that we no longer have magical crops to resupply it, but we'll survive for now. And that's the blood altar, and that's the Towncraft area. Let's first make some tau meters. And these things have to be the other way around. And because we now have a couple of spare tau meters, we can actually scan a tau meter. Tau meter, some gold here I believe, and some leather. And that's the goggles of revealing. This also gives you a 5% fizz discount whenever you use a wand for something, which is quite nice. We actually had enough fizz in the iron capped wand yet to do that, so not even using the gold banded wand yet. I'm going to leave it in there till it drains off. But now that we can see nodes and have fire see the nodes easily, we want to start thinking about, well, I want easy access to these nodes. I don't want to fly around the entire bloody world constantly to recharge it. Luckily, Towncraft has some really nice systems to do this. There is even a system to transport these nodes to where you want them. which is in the Thaumaturgy tab. Oh no, it's in the Basic Information tab with a note in a jar. The problem is with note in a jar, it requires 70 of each aspect in the wand that you touch it with. A shit ton of glass, which is not that much of a problem, and some slabs. But the note inside will be incredibly weakened in general. There is, however, one mod which we rush to a tier 4 altar for that allows us to transport tile entities without a problem. And that's blood magic. However, first we are going to build a small area in which we can store a lot of nodes together, because if you leave nodes unguarded in close proximity to each other, they start draining and killing each other off. Which is eventually something we're going to allow them to do, to create an Uber node. But for now I want them a bit separate. So we want to build a couple of node stabilizers. Now you see why I needed this second tier wand, because, well, iron capped wooden wands don't have enough fees to actually contain this. And also we need a nitor, one of easier things to find. It just requires us to make a crucible. Crucible is actually also quite a nice basic crafting mechanic. You can automate it in later stages of the game. And a crucible is quite easy to make. It just is a kettle or a cauldron above some fire, and you hit it with a wand and you fill it with water. And now I realized one of the problems: I don't have an unlimited water source on the moment in my towncraft area yet, but that's easily resolved. I already made a fire pit, but I forgot to make a place to store infinite water. I will make this more fancy between episodes. Just getting some water. I need 2 buckets of water. As you can see, silverwood trees occasionally contain nodes. I was very lucky that this one did. I have no clue what for a node it is. It's probably pure, so it's really nice to eventually use as a base node for the Uber node that I likely am going to create. But that's something for advanced towncraft, and we're nowhere near that level yet. Don't even have a infusion altar yet. So cauldrons of crucibles need to be placed above an open fire. You can use a torch or anything. In general, I prefer using netherrack because it keeps burning and all that stuff. Place the cauldron above it and hit it with your wand. Any wand will do, and you have a crucible. And then you can fill it with water. And eventually this water will start boiling. Can go in there. Likely need some gold somewhere down the line here anyway. Slowly this water starts boiling, and then you can perform recipes in there. Ooh. Yeah. I just had a flux episode. These will happen occasionally. Some are positive, some are not as positive. And the thing that I just had farted, well, I shit on a flux on the floor and gave me flux flu, which makes all crafting things that require flux a bit more expensive. The moment it wanes off, you see that the wand goes back to a cheaper cost. But for these node stabilizers that I want to build, at least one of them on camera, which is just a regular arcane workbench recipe, it requires a niter, a piston, some arcane stone bricks, and a couple of block of quartz. So let's first get ourselves some niter, which requires 3 ignis, 3 lux, and 3 potentia. Well, ignis and potentia are actually quite easy to obtain in the right proportions with coal. Coal contains 2 of that. So if we take 3 coal, we can make 3 niter. No, we can make 2 niter because it takes 3. Because the reagent requires also some glowstone dust, and torches just provide lux. So we're just going to do this on the cheap. Eventually you might want to switch to charcoal, but I have plenty of coal, so I'm not worried about using it. So I'm just going to take that. And if you throw it in now, because I have the goals of revealing, I can see how much is in there. That gives us 2 niter. Which is something I'm going to scan again with the thermometer, because it's a new item for me. Gives me some more resources. Niter is a quite nice substance, by the way. You can place it as a light source. A nice shiny glowing ball. You can also use it for quite a lot of crafting recipes, which is what we are going to use it for. Node stabilizer. It's gold ingot, we have that here. Blocks of quartz, not a problem. Piston, just a regular piston. Arcane stone bricks we require, which is for arcane stone block. An arcane stone block we make with cobblestones around a shard of any kind. I'm just going to put this coal back here. We're going to need quite a lot of that stuff anyway, so might as well immediately make a stack of it. There's the blood alder, there's the towncraft area. This does, however, require an arcane crafting table, because, well, it requires infusion of magic. And then that wand is run out, so finish up with a golden wand. And I'm going to store this one in the chest. I didn't scan a couple of items for the golden wand creation, so maybe a bit inefficient. Still scan that one for some really nice aspects. Instrumentum and Purcantio are 2 aspects that you practically always run out of. So we have plenty of that. We need some gold. And then we're nearly there for the node stabilizer. Just a couple of blocks of quartz and a piston. Can already place the items in the right order here. Oh, that's only for upwards movement. Do I have any spare pistons lying around? No, I don't. Make some pistons. Piston. Precisely enough pistons. And a couple of blocks of quartz. Oh. I still get confused which way I have to go to get... Oh, pistons in the middle, blocks of quartz around it. And it's slightly cheaper because, well, carrying the goals of revealing gives us a 5% fizz discount, which is really nice. So we can make one of them already. I want to make my node repository here above here. Why did that burn away? No clue. I'm just going to place a lot of nodes in here, but I'm not going to place the node stabilizer yet because we don't have a node already here. It's a bit useless. And I want to get the nodes here. And, well, we're going to use blood magic to do that. with a funny item called the teleposer and the teleposition focus, which requires a tier 4 altar and some ender pearls thrown in there. And where's the teleposer gone? Which requires a teleposition focus and some ender pearls. So first step, let's take some ender pearls. 3 of these need to be turned into teleposition focuses. 2 are just used in the crafting. And some gold ingots, which we have upstairs. We can go to the blood altar, which I upgraded with runes of superior capacity instead of the regular ones. So this blood altar can contain a shitload of ton of LP now. Using the hopper, I can take them, all 3 of them immediately, and turn them into teleposition focuses. This is going to take a little while, 6000 LP in total. Nearly there, I think. Yeah, there they are. Teleposition focuses. These things are really, really nice. I should have built a regular crafting table, shouldn't I? I'm just going to scavenge the floor a little bit. Some gold again. A lot of these magic mods require a lot of gold, so be prepared for that. Oh, warp skeleton. Okay. I didn't take enough ender pearls with me. No problem. No, this is just a regular crafting table. I need 2 more ender pearls. Of course, you need a teleposition focus that's acting as a receiving end, and a teleposition focus of teleposer that acts as a receiver and receiver and a sender. So you need 2 of them. And a teleposition focus that, well, tells the receiver, well, of the sender, well, I have to send it to this receiver. So I'm going to place the node here, bind it to over there. You can see it now displays the coordinates on the teleposition focus. And we also need something that can give us a redstone signal. So I'm going to take a lever and then we are going to find ourselves a little node that we are going to telepose to that location. Do I have any that are water, ordo and earth? I have 1. It's precisely that. We load in the right coordinates. We apply a redstone signal and poof, it's gone. Can break this with a regular pickaxe. Yes. And drop the lever on the ground. The fact that jetpacks keep working underwater is really, really handy. Why do I want this particular node first? Well, I need that to create, it's one of the easier nodes to create more node stabilizers. Now we see that the node is right here. Can we scan it again? It's a regular node. It also has one of the combined aspects in there, but we're not able yet to harness that for anything useful. It's not a big node, but it's plenty enough for the moment. I'm going to break this teleposer. But for safety's sake, we're going to put you're on this block, right? Oh, node stabilizer here. You see it automatically deploys a shield. This shield reduces the regeneration rate of this node a little bit, but it also prevents the node from being affected by other nodes nearby, or it affecting nodes nearby. Because if I would put down another node here somewhere and don't have this shielding around it, they would start sapping each other and slowly drain one each other until there's just only one big node left. And I don't want to do that yet. But with that, I think I will wrap up this episode. I have a nice little node in a stabilizer now, and I will slowly start moving the other nodes into stabilizers in this room, so I can just walk in here and recharge my wand and eventually upgrade it a little bit further. But till then, see you next time. Happy gaming!